Welcome, everyone. This is Glenda Dawson from Glenda's Magical Creations, and I have Eric Huysmans here
Hi.
and the council in general, whether
Yes.
it's Council 9 or Council 12, Council 24, whoever decides to join us, we're happy to have them. Eric, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. Council of 9 here, and we are with at least 2 or 3 councils in front, but we have countless councils in the back.
Right. That's why I just said whatever council shows up, it's okay. I felt the energy as soon as we begun. I felt the surrounding energy. So
Indeed.
well, welcome to everyone. Both Eric and I and myself are always more than happy to receive everyone who decides to show up as far as council is concerned, and we're more than grateful that we have the ability to channel or translate the messages that are given and the directions that are given. So I am ready.
Okay.
At any point when anyone wants to chime in.
Okay, I have something already. Okay. So again, a simple explanation. Maybe I explained it already, or we. Okay, doesn't matter. It's not Eric. For Eric, and that's again not sufficient in the future, but for today it's okay. What Eric is structure in his mind, we told him, is we have a 12 structure, meaning if you want to manifest something from the absolute to the specific, he sets 12 steps, literally 12 steps down. Right. But, and that's the important part of today, we call that embodiments. Meaning when you have an intention, then the intention is very real. When you have a plan, in our perspective, and even in your perspective, that plan is very real. But you don't call it matter. You don't call it concrete. You don't call it material. And that's a little bit off. And so Eric is a few years already, he calls them embodiments. So you have the embodiment on dimension 12, the embodiment on the dimension 11, and down, 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 and only in the lower. So let's say the first dimension in that structure, it's still abstract. It's called matter, because now it doesn't go in human perspective, it doesn't go any lower, and you can sense it, you can take it, you can feel it, you can lift it. That's what you call the body, but that's not correct, and you should call that an embodiment, more and more and more specific.
Okay.
So that's the setting for today, and we would like, if you agree, we would like to talk to the embodiment, 6th dimension embodiment of Glenda.
Okay. I'm here.
Okay. I'm not sure, but your ascended 7 dimension wants to talk to you. And then 7 wants to talk through 6 about Glenda in general and Eric in general.
what number 7 is saying. There's some stuff that is personal.
Okay.
But the basic premise is that it is time to set Glenda, the present Glenda, free of entanglements, of anchors, of people, of things that are holding her, tying her down.
Okay, let's talk first in general, and then when we go to the specific, again, I agree, it becomes specific and personal. And then you say, Eric, okay, it's personal, and you report on it, you know the drill.
Right. So that's basically the general thing. It is the time for people to start letting go in general, for people to acknowledge and release. He's also basically saying that there's a lot of beings, angelic and otherwise, that are trying to help us each and every day. But as human beings, we get a little stubborn and we don't want to accept help, or we don't recognize it as help. I'm correcting. We don't recognize it as help. But to surrender and allow the help to come. Ask for the help. Use your free will to obtain what you need.
Okay. I would like to start with that the seventh embodiment for the viewers and the listeners and for Glenda, if correct, and he can elaborate on that, he's setting more or less the time frame, meaning imagine that on a certain, I will call it a year, it's not a human year, but take it a multidimensional year, there is an interest for a body, even a 3D body, to exist that we will call Glenda or Eric. Let's keep it Glenda because we're going to get specific soon. And meaning on the spot, let's take Earth in a space, let's take a garden where you can stroll around and you have some plans and you can have them, okay, I want in that garden, I want to do the A, B, C, D, and D. So that basic planning, not the filled-in planning, but the structure, the blueprint, that's what I do, the 7-dimension thing. Okay, please elaborate on that.
The plans have been thought about, but not drawn. It is time now to draw the plans, to set the steps, to decide how many steps to take to get to the desired outcome, the actual manifestation of what the original idea was. It is Now time to start taking action. It is time for the goal and the energy to combine the actual ending, desire ending, with the manifestation energy and with the energy it takes to accomplish it, to combine so that in that union, it would then signal the rest of us that we know you're finally taking the steps you need to. The steps that have been in the thought only, in the thought only phase. And it is now time to draw it, to write it, to start doing the actions. Now I know that Eric normally takes a certain amount of steps to create that final manifestation desire. We're basically saying the exact same thing. You need to take the steps. Some people do 12 steps, some people do 10, some people do 7. But the whole idea is to set it in action, to set the plan in action, to write it out, to think it out, to say, okay, what's the next step? What's the next step? And to go down the list and get each step taken care of so your desired outcome will manifest itself in this 3D world in a proper fashion, in a proper timeline. In a year, we want her to be within a year. Now it's getting less and less. Within the year, we want her to be where the plans have always led her to. It is time now.
Okay, thank you. Before we go to Glenda, we will put first a step aside. We will stay with the channel. The channel thing is, let's talk, let's call that 7-dimensional planning the architect. So first we go to the angel dimensions, meaning if you are on the 7th dimension an architect, all angels are architects, but doing steps, not everyone wants to become a bricklayer. So an angel doesn't become a bricklayer. He stops at the level of the architect. So there, and understand me very well, in a way, the angels are here to assist us, and us is not only humanity, but the angels, so to speak, or the 7-dimensional consciousness beings are also interested in understanding and creating plans. They want to become an architect, like you want to become an architect. So understand it's not only for the angel beings to assist you, they have a self-interest, so to speak, in a way. They have a self-interest to become architects. And then, of course, they want to connect with bricklayers who want to manifest their plans. And so they are knocking at the door of humanity in 7 dimensions, saying, oh, I see next year you have a plan of this and this and this. Can we build it together? Because I will not build it, but we can make the blueprint. So understand, and please elaborate on that, so that the angel part, so to speak, is not only to interest you. They have a very interest in what you're doing for themselves. Yes.
Their interest is because they see the betterment of humanity when they help draw the plans. And that's what they came here for, to give direction. So then the actual 3D human can take that direction and take the steps needed. So the 3D human would be, or the 3D person consciousness would be the bricklayer, will be the one to take those plans, and it comes down to every single level, and it goes through them. And if there's any additions, any corrections, anything that has to, because sometimes there are little detours, but it all gets drawn in those plans. And each layer of consciousness will be putting in their approval, their revision, their addition, because the idea is that we all want and need consciousness in general to understand we're one. And we all go back. We're all one. We all want to improve, to bring more positive energy, to increase the awareness, the awakening, to increase the ability that we already possess as in 3D, but we are not as aware or as awake, or our eyes are not as open to all those abilities. They want us to remember them. And by taking the plans from one level all the way down and looking at each level, looking at them and revising or updating or doing the detours, it gets blessed, and it gets the final approval for the final step, which is to help not only the consciousness of the 3D being, but the consciousness of the 12, the 7, the 12, the 24th dimension, whatever dimension, all the way up to God consciousness.
Thank you. And then now we get to more to the specific, as Glenda stated. When we get down, and Glenda said it several times, when you get the approval, when you get the permit, that's already a step. You don't get a permission per se, 100%, no. You have to have an agreement, because you have to get in or ask for a construction team, which is maybe your neighbor or your sister or your father, or your children to be. Then they have to sign contracts. Are you coming? Are you coming? And that's karma and dharma and whatever you call it. So when we go down, and then we go to the construction company, he is hiring constructors. And then one is doing the wood, and one is doing the iron, and one is doing the bricklaying. And there we give the permission for Glenda to elaborate on that. Understand that from 7 down, so understand that the angel level is not coming with you. It's interested and he follows you, but is not participating directly into those lower steps. And speaking of lower, no, you are the architect, you are the permit, you are the construction team, and you are the bricklayer. So please get rid of the perspective that you say, oh yeah, I'm a bricklayer, and when the building is done, I get fired and I die. No, totally not. Please continue, elaborate.
Well, since each one of us has different aspects of our own consciousness and part of the bigger consciousness, the God consciousness, we each have we each go into a different level of understanding. And by being in different levels of understanding, that's why when a 3D human comes into this life, no matter when it is or what it is, it already comes with contracts before that they have agreed that they're going to learn these lessons. They're going to help their cousin or their mother or their father or vice versa to provide an opportunity to learn those lessons, provide the opportunity to do that work, provide the opportunity to get that structured and take those steps for the manifestation of whatever it is the plan is, whether it be a goal like learning a certain lesson, whether it be a goal in uniting with someone to create a higher vibration, whether it be to build a building. Even though we are, all of us, no matter you're in 3D at the very bottom, or you're all the way up in God consciousness, we're all the same and part of the same. The unity is what people do not understand, because the separation only exists on it. The actual being that we are is united to each and every other living conscious, the plants, the crystals, the animals, humans, the aliens, the beings in general, the angelic realm. It is also part of God consciousness. So therefore, we are part of them. They are part of us, and we continue all the way up and all the way down. There is no separation. And that's why Council stated that you are the architect, you are the lick prayer, you are the worker, you are the permit giver, you are the permit receiver, you are the thought processor, you are the one that did the drawing, the one that did the budget, you're the one who does the timeline. You're all the same. And being angelic beings, we are part of God conscious. We are part of God, that was a part that was sent here to guide. So we have a interest in humanity becoming more into a higher vibrational being than what it has been.
Okay, thank you. And indeed, that is what we are heading for, calling for ascension, meaning everyone needs to start from the bottom. So let's talk about the kindergarten. So that's the bricklayer. The bricklayer is the kindergarten. He said, okay, please do this, please do that. And what we're heading for, what Glenda exactly and specifically, clearly explained is it's time now. No, it's time. It was time long 20 years ago that we connect up, so to speak, with an, oh wait, I'm the bricklayer, but who is going to do the roof? Who's going to do the wood part? But it's written in the contract. And you should now today, no, yesterday, should read that contract. The contract is in your pocket, in your back pocket, is easily to get there. So, oh yes, the guy with the roof is coming next week, so you can meet him. But it's you or your mother or your father or your nephew or a stranger, whomever. But there is a connection and there is no separation. And then again, and I'll get the word back to Glenda here. Then we get specific where one Glenda or the council wants to go with Glenda, how to connect all those dots. Where and how, it's up to her.
That is where the individuality of free will comes in. She may have the plans, but she may decide to go left and go the scenic route instead of going right and go straight there. And that is where we all connect the dots, but it's Glenda's free will to come in and say, yes, I'm going to follow this exactly to the letter. Instead of, I want to build a foundation. Okay, let's build a foundation and then the walls and then the roof. She may decide to do the foundation and then do the roof, even though it's not going to stay, but it's her free will.
Okay, and then just for the listeners, and then we go there and it becomes more private for Glenda. So we call for a meeting for all Glendas, so to speak. And the architect is calling for all the contractors who have a part in Glenda's blueprint. And we have a meeting, like you have a meeting in the morning. Is that okay, what we're going to do today? Is the roof guide there? How are the walls doing? Did you order the doors? Whatever. And that's what we're going into now. And it might become more specific and more private, but that's okay. Then you know, you, the listener and the viewer, can do that with your architect. Please continue.
Okay. So, specific plan, which she allowed us to say already, was that it is time for her to cut away or let go of the dead wood. The things that are not the materials, whether it be people, places, things that are not going to help build the structure, but hinder the structure. It's kind of like you have an architect who does beautiful drawings, hands it to the construction manager, but the construction manager does not follow the drawings and decides that instead of a 2x4, he's going to do a 3x3 or a 1x1. That then puts the structure into a possible weakness moment, possible place where it may not hold up the way it needs to. Or they decide to put a roof that is too heavy and the beams just cannot, the structure cannot support that weight. Those are the things now that we have asked Glenda to let go of. Things that are holding her down, things that are holding people down in general. If they listen to themselves, they know what they need to let go. And this is a perfect time. We're starting to get cooler air. We're starting to see changes in the season. Little here, little there. It is a perfect time to release that which does not serve you any longer, that which is not helpful to the construction of the structure.
Okay. We are going to have about 3 minutes of silence from the Eric part, and then Glenda can go into the specific, the private and report or not report. That's up to her. Thank you.
All she has given permission was to basically say she needs to clear her plate a little, or her table a little bit, to make room for the right ingredients to come in. We have given her the steps to take. Of course, it is her free will to take those steps. But the architect has given her full drawings of the different layers of the actions that she has to take and what materials she needs to build the proper structure, to get to the point that she has agreed to get to. She now knows when it is time to surrender to a process, when it is time to set the intentions, when it is time to walk away, when it is time to acknowledge, forgive, and let go, when it is time to just cut those ropes, and it is time to let loose, when it is time to drive away, to stay, when it is time to use chicken or when it is time to use vegetables. She understands. And now it is time for me to step away.
Thank you. Okay. And we will do now a different direction. We will go bottom up. So when you're in the meeting with the architect, with all the contractors and all the workmen, understand that the bricklayer, the lowest level, has freedom of speech and freedom of will to do what he wants to do, with a comment here. As in humanity, when you're in a meeting, the bricklayer cannot rush in and say, hey guys, you fucked it up. I want this and this and this and this, when the plan is not right for that decision. You cannot burst into the room, have your say, and not noticing there are other players. That's the wrong way of approaching. That's the old way. But the new way, the ascended way, the channeled way, is that when you're in the meeting and the architect says, we're going to build this and this and this and this, and he asks questions, then the bricklayer can raise his voice. He said, hey, but on that plan, the bricks have that dimension, but what I have received is not of that dimension. So when you have a problem with God, so to speak, please speak up in the meeting, not nag. Understand the difference. But you have fully free will. And on addition, we give you now an image where there are levels for you 3D people to understand. But understand God has no levels. So he is the bricklayer. So God is fully consciousness in the bricklayer. Even if you don't understand it with your 3D mind, understand this is the reality. So both images are correct, but only one humanity can understand to the full. Please.
As the bricklayer, just like the architect, both have, and everything in between, both have, or all of them have, God. God is with them. God consciousness is with them. Because we are all just consciousness. Humans like to have this separation, but we're all united. And we're hoping that human and 3D understand that before they go back home. That they understand that while they are living, they're still here in this 3D world. You don't go into a meeting of executives as the mailroom clerk and start yelling at them because they put in the mail in the wrong place. You go through the proper channels, or you do that when there's a full meeting of everyone. So just say, hey, God, everyone, I need everyone to put outgoing mail to the left of their desk, not to the right. Because we're going to pick up on the left, and what is not in that basket in the left, it will not be picked up. And right there, everyone understands the steps that everyone has to take in order for the mail to be properly delivered and properly leave the building and go to the post office. It is not time to do that, to say that later. I needed to clarify that because people think that it's my way or no way. Some people believe that they're better than everyone else, and in their world they may be, but in other people's world, no. And it's time to realize we are all part of one in this classroom, this 3D classroom, where our minds are limited if we choose to. And once we choose to open up, we choose to ascend, we choose to open up, we will start igniting the knowledge that has been there and the understanding of how each and every level works and how we are all one. We're just pieces of the bigger piece of pie, for example, or a piece of pizza. Each one is a slice. And that slice could be then divided into half. And that little half can be divided into another half, and so on and so on. But we're all still part of that one God conscious pizza. No matter how many pieces you make out of that, we're still one. We're still part of it. And that is still part of us. Every piece is an aspect of us individually and of the whole, the complete, the sum of God consciousness. Hard to understand sometimes in the 3D mind, 3D world. But the more you think about and you open up to it, you understand you are part of God and God is part of you. And we are part of each other.
Okay, thank you. And then the last part is understand that everything is connected with everything. And again, we understand that it is too big a ask to comprehend for the human mind. But as an image, take the solar system. Every planet, every moon is revolving around something, and it works like clockwork. What if the moon should burst into the meeting of all planets of the solar system and they say, I've had it, guys, I'm moving, I'm out. He cannot do that. He doesn't want to do that. And he will not even think about doing that. That is how connection works. As you see, the solar system has been revolving already a few million years. I don't care how scientists think about it, take a few million. And it's still that way. The plan is perfect. No one is even thinking about moving out, quitting. So you, the bricklayer, are here because you want to be here, that you are connected as the moon is connected with the earth and is connecting with Jupiter, is connected with the sun, you are connected with the sun god. And the plan is perfect. We rest our case here. Thank you.
Thank you. So the lesson for today is to remember oneness. Just the word oneness. And be open at least to the idea. Rest.
Okay. One specific few exercises extra for Glenda. She has 4 contractors which want to step forward very briefly. And I only will count again personal and private. But we will assist Glenda from our perspective to get in contact with those 4 perspectives, so to speak. Okay, please go to perspective 1 that wants to talk to you. Very familiar, but then again.
Okay. Make contact with perspective 1. Perspective 1 is someone that I know.
Yes.
And that contractor is basically saying it's time now.
Yes.
Time to take action. That's it.
Yeah. Very strict, very normal, very 3D, easy to understand.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Go to perspective 2. Also one you know, but a little bit further away, and where you don't have direct connection with, or not every day. But for your contract, very important.
This one is a little less strict and direct. This one is, this contractor is basically just saying, it is time, just walk away, let things work out. We'll, you know, no matter which route, as long as you set the intention, a little less, follow the instructions exactly.
Yeah. Let's say a guide she doesn't listen to every day.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let's move to perspective 3, and that is a distant relative, so to speak.
That was a little different.
Yes, that's a little bit different, yes.
It is saying that I need to upgrade some of my materials in this drawing. And it is saying that, yes, this is correct, and this is correct, and this is correct. But if you put a little more solid steps, you will get there easier. The structure will be stronger. Basically, don't be wishy-washy, but it wants me to be aligned with my intention and my desire, and don't waver. But still, you know, you could do it, take it easy. You don't have to do it right now, right away. You could just don't waver once you make the decisions. So that's a little different than the other two.
Yeah. So the image that Eric sketched from this, with the similarity of the solar system, that's a planet, no, a meteor or a satellite or whatever that is coming into the solar system once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
He's leaving the solar system, come back, and he says, "Oh, Glenda, long time no see." And then he stays for a few days, and then you don't hear him for another year, 100 years, and then he's there again. He says, "Oh, what the fuck? Oh, do I know you?" Yes, we know each other. Mm-hmm. Okay, and number 4 is a far distant star, so to speak.
That one just is basically out there. Isn't even in the same building as the meeting is. It's kind of calling in far away. It has a I don't care what you do type of energy. Or I don't care how you do it. It's just the building has to be built. but there's
what-
no details.
No, what I get is like a long distance call, and he said, "Hey, I heard you are building that kind of structure. We're doing the same, but a little bit different. Can we share notes? Can we compare notes here? So, oh yeah. You do it that way? Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, it's not as strict as one, for sure. And it's more like comparing notes. And the end result is what really he cares about. He or she getting the building built.
And now she's telling you a very specific thing, and we give you a minute. What building she will talk to you about, what building she is building, so you are comparing notes. 1 minute of silence from our point. And then we're done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Council of 9 out.
All councils are stepping back.
Wait, the council, the big council is staying. I don't know why. Maybe one small remark, or I don't know.
Oh, I know why.
Okay.
My 6th and 7th haven't gone back to their place.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's personal. Yeah. Okay, good. Take it in. That's all. Here we go again.
Okay.
Bag of sweets. Some motivation.
Yes. The motivation.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, we're done. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, council, councils.
Councils.
Eric. Thank you, any angelic beings, etc. that were here. Thank you to our audience.
Wait, the Andromedas want to say hi, the angels want to say hi, the Arcturians want to say hi. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for following. Have a great one.
And your black guy.
The top hat just went like this.
Yeah. Squeezing in.
Squeezing in. All right. Have a good one. Bye.